Let's talk about the financial benefits of retiring in Alabama versus Florida. It is no secret that wave upon wave of retirees have crashed upon Florida shores over the past few decades. So many so that you could even say it's been a tsunami of retirees. Like any tsunami, the beach looked bright and beautiful as the surf pulled back. Then there was destruction and financial ruin waiting in the wake after the big wave finally hit. And that's where retired Floridians find themselves today. Two of the biggest draws for retiring in Florida were affordable housing and low taxes. People who had worked their whole lives up north finally got to trade in their snow shovels for sandals and could live out the good life without worrying about running out of money in retirement. Unfortunately, all that has changed over the past few years. The financial picture for Florida retirees has even gotten so bad that the oxymoron working retirement is now trending in Florida. Costs in retirement have gotten so high that Florida even passed a bill allowing state workers who recently retired to return to the workforce much sooner than they were allowed to before. Florida used to be a place of sunshine, beachfront condos, and financial peace. But each of those is being ripped away, and one of our most financially vulnerable demographics is getting hit the hardest, namely retired seniors living off fixed income or their savings. For example, take the condo collapse that happened in the year 2021 and the downstream financial effects that had on retirees who bought into condo complexes years after they were built. These retirees have been paying thousands of dollars per year for normal upkeep on their condo and complex, only to find out that the condo association deferred major maintenance projects for decades. And now, with the new Condo 3.0 laws, Florida is forcing these associations to make much needed repairs quick, fast, and in a hurry. So that means new retirees who bought into these condo associations over the past few years are paying the price for that deferred maintenance through special assessments. Well, it can't cost that much, right? Couldn't be more wrong. While the average cost for these assessments can range anywhere from a few $1,000s to $40,000, there are several instances of condo associations imposing assessments of over $100,000 per unit. And there's even one association that suggests an assessment of $400,000 per unit. Now you may say, I'm not going to live in a high-rise condo, so these changes don't affect me. Well, you'd be wrong again. HOA fees have skyrocketed, with the average fees running anywhere from a few $100s to several $1,000s per month. Florida HOAs have gotten so out of hand that the state legislature even had to step in and pass a law limiting their stranglehold over their residents. So retirees who move to Florida to get away from high taxes are getting blindsided by the sky-high HOA fees, which in many cases are even higher than the taxes they left behind. Contrast this with Alabama neighborhoods. In my neck of the woods in North Alabama, average HOA fees range between $300 and $500 per year. These communities frequently come with lighted sidewalks, pools, cabanas or clubhouses, tennis courts, and some even have basketball courts and gyms. While these Alabama communities aren't the sprawling retirement complexes you'll find in Florida, they also don't come with all the financial downsides, hidden costs, and fees that somehow never make it into the brochures that you get mailed every month. While we certainly have HOAs with higher annual fees, you're usually going to get quite a bit for your money in these communities. These types of HOAs are usually found on golf courses or private gated communities, and they tend to come with quite a few amenities as well. Some even having their own restaurant or grill, and of course, HOA fees are just part of the costs associated with housing. You also have to consider the price of the homes along with the property taxes. I covered those costs in much more detail in another video that's linked at the end of this one. So stay tuned because I can promise you don't want to miss that video. Two other costs that have significantly impacted Florida retirees skyrocketed as well. These are the cost of healthcare and homeowners insurance. The average cost of healthcare in Florida has jumped significantly over the last 5 years. When you compare the average cost of healthcare between Alabama and Florida, you can see there's a significant difference. In almost every major category that affects seniors, you will see that healthcare in Florida costs on average $1,000 to $2,000 more per month. The one exception is Medicare premiums, where it costs $5 more per month in Alabama. So, as you age, you need any of these services, it will cost you between $12,000 and $24,000 more per year to live in Florida than in Alabama. At that point, the $60 difference in annual Medicare premiums is a rounding error. I take a deeper dive into the average healthcare expenses for Alabama retirees in that video I mentioned just a moment ago. Alright, while we've been talking about the annual cost of condo fees, HOA fees, and healthcare being tens of thousands of dollars higher in Florida than in Alabama, those costs are just a drop in the bucket compared to the difference in homeowners insurance and flood insurance between Florida and Alabama. Florida has been ravaged by hurricanes and flooding over the years. These natural disasters have led to billions of dollars worth of damage, and the cost to repair the damage to homes that were in the path of these deadly storms fell on the insurance companies. As it turns out, insurance companies don't like to pay billions of dollars in damages. So these companies have either significantly raised their premiums across the state or they've pulled out of Florida altogether. If you think it's just a problem for coastal Florida, then think again. Insurance is regulated at the state level, so carriers usually budget for state level premiums, deductibles, and expenses. Since the cost to insure a coastal home could quite easily exceed the value of that home, insurance carriers have spread the cost across the state. That means your home may be 100 miles inland, but you're still paying coastal premiums for your homeowner's insurance. Compare this to the cost of homeowners insurance in Alabama. That's just a fraction of the cost and covers virtually every natural disaster your home could encounter. The rapid increase in homeowners insurance premiums, coupled with so many carriers leaving the state, has led to as many as 17% of Florida homeowners going uninsured. Now, if you have a mortgage on your home, then your lender is going to force homeowners insurance on you if you don't get it yourself. And it's likely to be at even more unfavorable pricing than if you found it on your own. If you own your home outright, you don't have to have insurance, but then neither your home nor your possessions are covered in the event of a natural disaster, which in Florida, let's face it, is a matter of when, not if. If, like millions of Americans, your retirement nest egg is tied up in the equity value of your home, then it can all be lost in an instant if you don't have that ridiculously expensive homeowners insurance policy. To make matters worse, those policies don't cover flooding. If you ask any expert in Florida, is this home in a flood zone? They're going to answer yes without even looking at the address of the flood map. It's not a matter of if it's in a flood zone, it's just a matter of how much risk of flooding there is. In North Alabama, we have dozens of rivers, lakes, creeks, streams, and tributaries, so we have flood zones as well. However, the vast majority of our area isn't in a floodplain, and we have the topography with our mountains and valleys to direct floodwaters away from homes. Florida, being flat as a pancake, doesn't have that ability. So homeowners insurance premiums and deductibles can be thousands of dollars cheaper per year in Alabama than they are in Florida, and you won't feel the need to go completely uninsured, which could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars if your gamble doesn't pay off. And you're going to have ample opportunity to find homes that are not in a floodplain. Now, the most famous reason retirees have flooded into Florida is the lack of state income tax. This is an area where Alabama has gained a lot of ground as well. Alabama doesn't tax Social Security income, and the distributions from qualified defined benefit plans, aka pensions, are also untaxed in Alabama. Lastly, Alabama doesn't tax the first $12,000 in IRA and 401k distributions once you reach retirement age either. The exempted income increases by $6,000 per individual per year until the year 2026, when it caps out at $24,000 of untaxed income per individual. I cover these tax benefits in much greater detail in the video you see linked on the screen now. Definitely take a look at it, as well as my video on the cost of living for Alabama retirees.